Hi, I'm Brian Evans, and with me here is Doug Hart. We're part of corporate training services here at Durham College. And this is a college-based organization for training. We do lots of national training. About 90% of our business is across the country in about 32 cities. So my first question actually to Doug is, why are we doing these videos? I kind of feel like I'm in an infomercial right now.
Well, it's because you are. That's
okay,
why.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, we do a lot of corporate training. Big companies, primarily. That's why it's 90% national.
Makes sense.
Like you said, across the country, 32 different cities. But for the people that are going onto our website, we thought we'd maybe share a little bit of what we do. Our current clients know what we do, but new ones don't. So this is for the new clients.
Makes sense. Makes
it's
sense.
going to be short and sweet. We'll give them some snapshots of what we're going to be talking about.
All right, so we're going to cover some of the foundational stuff, but that's not necessarily basic stuff. It's foundational stuff.
No, and I'm very clear when I lecture on this that foundational means exactly that. If you lay down a good foundation, then you can lay the rest on top of it. Just like a building, if you put a lot of work into the second and third floor, and you got all the best MBAs in the world working in the marketing department, if the foundation of the business, the ability to create value, isn't there,
you end up with the Leaning Tower of Pisa, basically.
Exactly.
Yes, and not going to work out so well.
No, well, it did for them, but for the rest of us, probably not. So foundational doesn't mean basic. It just means important.
Right. Okay. So that makes sense. So what specifically are we going to talk about in these videos here?
I thought we'd do 3 parts. This discussion we have right now will be on customer experience management, which is not customer service, but it's a little more leadership discipline. Strategic thinking, which is always popular with people, but especially today. And then we're going to get into the 3 pillars of strategic thinking, or 3 for success. So part 3 is still on strategy, but I thought we'd break it up a little bit.
Right, okay. So customer experience management is first.
Yeah.
Why is that important to start with?
Well, okay, because customer experience management is really it's a leadership discipline, right? And it's, take a look at probably even the late Steve Jobs. How close was he to the actual experience you get at the Apple Store? There's a direct connection between the two.
For sure.
And I always think that's a good example. But the real deal is, although customer experience management has always been important because it's the epicenter of your business, it's where you're actually interacting with the customer, and when they feel good, they want to come back. Social media has actually changed this, or amplified it. It's probably a better example.
Yeah, for
right?
sure. That makes sense.
Think about it. Pretend you're at a restaurant 20 years ago and you got the proverbial fly in the soup. Okay, I always use this example. 20 years ago, you'd go on the local newspaper and you'd put in your complaint and be in the back of the paper, and you tell all your friends you complained and read about your complaint, and all 3 of your friends did, and
that was about it.
You had no effect, right? The restaurant owner never had to make any changes because really wasn't worried about your influence, right? So but then go 10 years ago, you can go online and complain on a website, yeah. But how about now?
You can literally live stream the soup with the fly swimming in it for 1 million people instantly on your phone.
Yeah, and that's changed things. And you got Google reviews, the number of stars, and because of that alone, we believe in the course we're teaching. This is probably the course we get the most aha moments with people, because first of all, it's totally applicable to every business.
Absolutely.
And it's absolutely crucial in today's business. So that's why we start.
Makes sense. Now, Doug, you've been here at Durham College for a number of years. I won't say how many for the audience here. There was something specific that happened back in 2001. Why don't you tell us about that? Well,
we were having a meeting, and I remember the person was using an overhead projector. Ever seen one of those?
I don't know what that is.
That's what we called acetates. And
that's the clear paper on the light right. projector. Okay, I got you.
In fact, that marker you're using, we use
would
a lot
have been very handy on those.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's one of our biggest clients, a multinational, in fact. And they put some data up that they wanted to share with us. And as they put the data up, someone said, "Oh, it's time for a coffee break." So everyone left the building except me. I'm staring at the numbers and the data I'm looking at. I'm going, if this is true, not only in a specific sense, but also in a general sense, I have to change everything I think about business.
Wow, everything.
This was a true, Brian, a true epiphany.
Wow.
Like you don't have too many of those.
If you were a cartoon, there would be a light bulb above your head in that
bing,
moment.
exactly,
Whoa.
exactly.
Okay.
So what it was it showed that in this particular case, that you had 3 sets of customers, and it showed that 99% of customers that had a great experience would recommend you.
That makes sense.
Totally,
Logical. Okay.
no surprise. On the other side was 3 out of 100 that got the very dissatisfied experience. Only 3 out of 100 would actually recommend you. And this part, I think, is funny because that should be 0.
Those 3 people don't know how recommendations work.
You treat me really bad, but
or
you should
they're
go there
recommending
too.
to their enemies. That's what's going on. They're saying you should go to this terrible place and have a bad experience like me.
I was at the 3. I thought it should be 0, but hey, it was 3.
Makes sense.
And 99. So neither one of those were surprises, really.
Absolutely.
But the big surprise was the middle. The customer, that everything met their expectations.
Now, I would guess, so somewhere in the middle, maybe 50%. If they got everything right and just had a generally good experience, I would think maybe 75, maybe higher.
Well, these are the customers. If you ask them how did it go, they say, "Oh, it's good. It's always good there. There's no complaints here.
Nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong."
Okay.
That's what's amazing. It's not 50%. It was 19%.
19% of people that had a perfectly good experience would recommend.
Because it wasn't euphoric. They connected cognitively, but not emotionally.
Wow.
And so literally, if your organization could nail the experience every time, and your complaint department was no complaints, sit around not taking any phone calls, that business could still go out of business as soon as a competitor comes in. You're okay if there's no competitor,
Fair.
right? If you only show in town a local context, but as soon as a competitor comes in, all those satisfied customers then go, let's give them a try just for a change.
Right.
So it's critical, actually.
That makes sense.
So I looked at this, and from here we actually designed. It took a while, but all of our customer experience management, strategic planning, leadership, managing, all of those courseware actually comes out of the customer experience course, and this whole customer experience course actually comes from that one epiphany.
Wow!
So it's just like a tree.
Yeah.
The concentric ring. This is the middle.
That was the center.
So I thought it was a good place to start, right? When you just start in the middle.
Now I've noticed, Doug, that you keep saying customer experience. Now most people know what customer service is.
Yeah.
Is that just another fancy term for customer service? Is it the same thing?
I gotta confess, when I have someone in a meeting say, "So this is, Doug, can you talk about your customer service course?" When they do, I want to go, "No, that's not what it is." We don't do much customer service training because it doesn't work.
That's interesting. Okay, yeah,
and I'll tell you why. First of all, customer experience management is a leadership discipline. It's a senior leadership discipline because it's part of the vision of the organization.
Right. Okay.
And if I give you one summary, it would be this: the customer experience is more enabled than it is trained. Meaning you enable your people as opposed to training your people. But if they want a freebie, that would be it right there.
So could you give us an example of that?
I can give you a profound example. Let's suppose you go to a typical retailer in Canada, a big store with lots of different stuff. You can probably figure out
lots of them, yeah.
Those type of stores. So you go in, you buy, say, this little water bottle for $20, and you paid cash for it. And like you kept the mail code, meaning that as soon as you left the building, you already lost the receipt.
100% lost the receipt.
Okay. So you get home, you take it out of the box, you go, "Hey, I thought this was a stainless steel bottle. It's actually just plastic. I don't like it. I'm going to go take it back." So let's suppose that the customer service person that you're going to run into is the best in the world, just for fun. So you explain, and they'd ask, "Do you have your receipt?"
Of course not. No.
And so the policy deployed into that business system is that they would scan the thing, and that would show whatever it was sold at, the lowest price in the last 12 months. That's your refund. That's the policy.
Okay.
So on Boxing Day, it was sold for $10.
Not okay.
Here's your $10. So can you imagine yourself? You're there. They want to give you the $20. They're pleaser. Let's make it worse. Let's pretend right here is the giant pyramid of those
$20 water bottles.
And a great big $20, right?
Yeah.
And you're going, "Well, come on, I shop here all the time. We all both know." You're like, "I know it's $20, but you don't have the receipt." They're
but
embarrassed.
The policy that this customer service person is following is telling me that I can only get $10.
Okay, so now let's take that example. Let's rewind it.
Okay.
It's magic, right? And let's say you bought it at Costco.
Okay.
Okay. Now that Costco card, it's not just a card, it's actually policy deployed into a business system that enables behaviors and strategies.
Right. That comes from the very top. That's a corporate decision.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Part of the vision of the organization, actually.
Absolutely.
So in this case, instead of having the world's best customer service person, we're going to have just out of school, no talent, no social skills.
Not on Employee of the Month wall, anywhere to be seen.
Just imagine, wardrobe and personal hygiene issues are both in play.
Wonderful. Okay.
Okay. Just let your imagination go. So you tell them your story, and they go, do you have your receipt?
No, I don't have my receipt.
Do you have your card with you? Well,
I didn't even bring my card.
Yeah, so really. So they take, what's your name? Take your name. Oh, there's your picture. You are you. Mr. Evans, no problem. Hit print. There's your receipt. There's your $20.
Wow.
Now, the first example, you couldn't have added more training to make them better.
There was nothing more that he could do.
They were the world's best, but you weren't happy as a customer. Yet, in the second example, the Costco example, training actually was not the reason why they were successful.
Not at all.
The behaviors prompted in the system totally enabled you to have a great experience. So when I say, customer experience is enabled as opposed to trained, that's it. And I think it's a profound point.
So customer experience management, we're talking about this as a course. Why don't you tell us about the rest of the course?
Okay, so we sell this as a 2-day course, and it's actually 2 one-day courses.
Okay.
Well, except for management, they take 2 days. Managers are a bit slow; they need 2 days, right? And leaders were a bit slow.
Hopefully, managers are not watching.
Well, I got myself in there. We're thinking about stuff, going to answer emails, so it takes us 2 days.
Twice, yeah.
Okay. And you almost do. So what we do is we do the first days every one.
Okay.
Now, if you have a large organization, that first day may be multiple days.
Okay.
Because you group of 20, 30 people. If you're across the country, maybe we're doing across the country tour like we did for one client. But there's this first day, which is frontline.
Yeah.
But we want the leaders in that course.
Okay.
Because yes, it's good to hear twice, but they need to be with their people, get the context of it, and we also do a workshop as part of that where the front line is engaged to share their ideas. Okay?
Interesting.
Which is interesting, because the front line, I've been doing that particular piece for 15 years. I've never had a front line workshop where they didn't bring something profound to the party. Because the people that work at the front line, they got ideas.
Yeah, they know the business. They're right there. Absolutely.
So the first day is frontline. The second day is a leadership course.
So they are experiencing 2 days.
The leaders are.
Yeah, the leaders are. Why is that? Why do they need that?
They first of all need to be with their people because kind of a clan learning, and then when we get into the leadership side, we actually get into working on the business, not just in it, and we get into really deploying change. Because if you want to improve your customer experience, you don't improve your training, you improve the actual system people work in, just like we discussed.
Right, makes sense. Okay, so what is this going to cost for a company?
$7,000 for the 2 days.
Okay.
If their group is small enough to do 2 days, multiple days would cost more.
Obviously.
And then we're across the country. We travel. We know the travel costs in Canada. So if you're outside of the GTA, the other side of the country, if you budgeted $9,500. That's going to get you airfare, hotels, rental car.
Right. And obviously locally, it'll be a little bit less in travel costs.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so that would be a safe bet.
All right. Now, this wouldn't be a true infomercial if we didn't have a free sample. If you call now.
Don't call now. For free sample.
But there is some sort of free content we want to give to them.
Yeah, I always think it's good to actually throw something useful in a video like this.
Everybody loves free.
Absolutely. Real value. So. One of the things that I say is a profound question I'll put to you, Brian, is what does today's customer want out of their customer experience? So Harvard did some research on this. What today's customer wants is you to be easy to do business with.
Be easy to do business with.
Make it easy to interact with you in your.
That makes sense. Don't make me jump over hoops to buy your product.
So. And easy is defined in only we call three pillars of effort. So when I get to this point, I always tell people, if you want to summarize what we're talking about, think of the number 332.
Okay, 332.
So first three is there are only 3 outcomes of the customer experience. Less than expected, got what I expected, got more.
Yeah, makes sense.
the customer experience itself only has two strategies, only two things you're trying to accomplish with the customer experience. Number one, it's so good that you'll come back. Okay, so loyalty.
Yeah, makes
loyalty
sense.
is number one.
Makes sense.
Number two, though, is advocacy. Meaning,
So tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Okay.
And that's all your customer experience is actually trying to produce is those two things. Okay, so there's the two. And the last thing is the three pillars of effort that the customer want to be easy to do business with. First thing is want to be easy cognitively. Don't make them think too much. Okay.
All right.
Be easy emotional. Don't make me, the customer, feel things I don't want to feel. Okay. And then
sense.
physical effort. Make it convenient for me.
Don't have actual physical hurdles in front of your store.
Yeah.
I need to jump over.
Would you like some examples?
Absolutely.
Okay, so on the cognitive side, one that I think is an interesting one was there was a store that only sold jam. So you picture this country kind of store. You walk in and they had a boardroom table at the front, and you encountered it, and there was 24 different jams from all over the world.
Wow.
With little crackers and little
whole
wooden
shebang.
things.
Yeah.
You could try them all out, and it'd be quite a fun experience. And all they did was measure how many people came into the store and how many actually bought something. So basically, receipt count versus door
Attendance,
count.
door count. Yeah.
And they weren't happy with the closing rate.
Okay.
They were attracting lots of customers, but not necessarily selling them jam. So a consultant, or insultant as they sometimes call us, right? Because sometimes we insult you by giving you the basics.
Yeah.
And it really was basic what they gave them. They said it's too much choice. Narrow that, even though you have hundreds of choices in your store, as far as your sample to get this process going, narrow that down to 8 really popular ones. So they went from 24 to 8, and sales increased.
Sales increase. There you
Absolutely.
go. Wow.
Another example, my friend who's in nuclear power, she took her niece to Disney World. Lovely aunt. So I took her to Disney, and there's the one place down in Disney World, they got the room with all of the stuffed animals you can buy. Okay, it's just thousands of Disney characters. And she said, you can buy any one of these you want, I'll buy for you. And the little girl sees all the choices, started to cry because there's too much choice.
Oh my goodness.
So it's not just an adult thing, it happens in all things. And then the third example, I had a senior manager. I was doing a global strategy course in the nuclear power industry, and this senior manager had to ensure moves of waste. Okay?
Insurance. Okay.
Yeah, insurance.
Yeah.
So he went to do it, and as he's telling us this story, that's what I remember the most. As he's telling us the story, he goes, he actually got stressed out again. He went
Just from telling the story.
Just from telling the story.
It must have been a stressful experience.
And what it was is the insurance people brought 13 different policies for him to choose from. And he's going, I'm not an insurance expert. And
they are. That's that.
Yeah.
You are the expert. Give me what is the best option.
They should have narrowed
it the top 3.
They should have asked what are your needs, figured out the source, and narrowed it down to maybe 3 at the most, and then steered them towards it.
Because now you need to read all 17 and figure out all the...
Well, I have my own version of this.
Okay.
When I go to the burrito place, and they have the 50 different choices.
Your own thing.
I feel like now it's my responsibility that the burrito tastes good.
To build the best burrito, right.
And I really don't know what I'm doing.
So you just ask the expert to do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that helps. So that's the cognitive, which can be emotional. Emotional classic, though, would be high pressured sales.
Right. Yeah.
Buy today. Today's
can be
the
a
best
lot of
deal.
Emotional effort.
We should try that with our customer here. Buy this training today.
Do it now.
So, but yeah, the high pressured sales thing never works.
Yeah.
That would be a good example. But I had another one. I had a vice president of a group we did this training with actually share a story. He has an employee who said was great, manageable, nice, all the hallmarks. I'm waiting for the but. And he goes, but, he says, every time I give them an assignment, a project, it comes back, they come back with an idea that's revolutionary, innovative, pioneering, but he says, I'm always the guy having to take the risk of trying something new. And he said, I actually find that difficult to do business with emotionally.
I can see why, yeah, the risk, the anxiety associated with that would be...
The last one, the physical one, I think Tim Hortons is a good example, and I'll pose this question to you. The Tim Hortons coffee that I buy at the counter versus the Tim Hortons coffee I buy at the drive-thru, I say they're different products. Agree, disagree?
Yeah, I mean, if you're including the packaging of the product in that, I mean, it's coming from the same pot of coffee.
If we define the product as the coffee, this is crucial, I think, for people, is that define what your product is.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a shoe store, you don't actually make the shoes.
Absolutely.
Your
You're
product
just
is the
retailing it.
selling of the shoes.
That's
right?
a great point.
You always localize. That's key. Localize the product. And so in this case, on the coffee example, it's easy to acquire a cup of coffee. That's what that is. So in the winter or the summer, roll down the window, get my coffee. You've made it easy for me to acquire.
Much easier than
so that would be an example of physical effort. So if you design your customer experience, really keeping in mind, make it low cognitive, low emotional, and low physical effort, and you measure, you'll be successful in today's business.
Now, Doug, we have customers at Corporate Training Services
Yes.
here, and so what would be a good way for us to make effort for them a lot easier, like easier for them to do business with us? I think we should make like videos that they could watch on our website so that they could find out about these training courses.
This feels like an infomercial at this point. Yeah, because it is, right?
That's what this is doing. We're trying to make it easy for our customers. Now, obviously, customer experience management, this all sounds very strategic. And in a moment, we're actually going to have a slide that shows up. It'll have all of our contact information as well as the key points from this video. But before we go, I want to talk about part 2. Actually, you said part 2 is extremely important, talking about
So is this the commercial
thinking.
for the commercial now?
Yes, this is a commercial inside the commercial for the commercial.
Wow, I'm confused already. Okay, so yeah, in part 2, we're going to get into strategic thinking, which is very much a leadership discipline. We'll get away from the tactics and really talk about strategy. And this is a course that we teach. We've actually had an opportunity to teach it in Europe, here, South America, to all different groups, and we get the same reaction. It's a very profound course. And I'll give you a hint if those who don't have a chance to watch the video, but it's the difference between a hockey fan who knows the rules of the game, or a baseball fan who just kind of knows the rules, versus a coach. Okay, or the professional manager. You see, knowing the rules doesn't make you a strategist.
That's true.
But you do need to know the rules to become the strategist.
Right, that's part of it.
Right. How do I now work the gray space in between the rules? That's where the strategy emerges. Right. So that's probably a good example. And we want to be able to show people, first of all, do you know the game of business, which we'll get into, and then how do you apply strategic thinking to that? So that's discussion number 3.
That's good. All right. Well, we'll see you folks in part 2. Thanks for watching.